So how do we factor this? So we want to put this trinomial into factor form. This is to the fourth power. If this is a square, that's easy, right? We will have two factors, -3 and -1. But this is to the fourth power. So what do? We want to use rational root theorem. The theorem says the factors of this, with A, just pretend, right? If we can factor out into 4 linear factors, the rational root theorem says all the factors coming from the ratio of the constant term with the leading coefficient. So this is the leading term because it has the highest exponent here. A to the fourth power is a leading term. And what it is a leading coefficient is 1 by default. So all the possible factors coming from factors of 3, which is ±1 or ±3, and divided by the factors of 1. So how many possibilities if we divide those two? ±1 divided by ±1, so that's ±1. ±3 divided by ±3, that's ±3. So we have 4 possible roots. Possible roots. A plus 1, A minus 1, A plus 3, A minus 3. Possible roots. So how do we check? We use something called a short division. We can always perform long division, but long division is a lot of writing. So let's try to use short division. Short division is only dealing with the coefficient. So I'm writing down the coefficient on this line. Then I'm leaving one row empty. Then whatever the factors I'm guessing, I'm gonna put over here. So the leading coefficient is 1, right? The next term should be a cube, but I don't have a cube here, so I'm gonna write down 0. I don't have a square, I'm gonna write down 0. Then the next term is a, coefficient is -4. Constant term 3. So which one? So we can put either one of those 4 here. So let's do this one. So if it's a minus 1 as a factor, I'm going to put a positive 1 here. If I pick a plus 1 to try, I would need to put a negative 1 here. So positive 1 is the easiest one. So let's check this one. So what do I do next? First step, I write down the leading coefficient under this line. Whatever is the leading coefficient, I don't do anything, just write it down here. Now I multiply with these two numbers. I multiply. 1 times 1 is 1. Where do I put this 1? I'm going to put it here, under 0. So 1 times 1 is 1. I put it under this 0. So what do I do with those two numbers? I add those two numbers. 0 plus 1, that's 1. Then I multiply this 1 with this again. 1 times 1 is 1. I put over here. 0 plus 1, 1 again. I multiply this 2. Right? 1 times 1 again is 1. I add those two numbers. -4 plus 1, that's -3. I multiply this 2. 1 times -3, that's -3. I add this 2. 3 plus -3, 0. Great. What does this 0 mean? This 0 means no remainder. That means indeed, this is a factor. So a minus 1 is a factor. But how I'm going to write the rest of the terms? This is a to the first power, right? This is a minus 1, a to the first power. So this one has to be a cube. And this is the coefficient of a cube. This is the coefficient of a squared. This is the coefficient of a, and this is a constant term. So writing this as a cube plus a squared plus a minus 3, right? Then we check, is it possible, you know, plus 1, plus 3, minus 3, factors of this, we can keep checking. We can keep checking. Or we see if we have 4 members, we can group those 4, right? We can group those 2, we can factor out a square. We can group those 2. Doesn't look like a 1 is a factor anymore. Maybe we try 3. Well, let's try it. We still use short division. So now I have coefficient 1 in order, right? I have a cube, a squared, a constant term. So 1, 1, 1, negative 3. So what are we going to try? Well, let's try 1 more time. Let's try 1 more time. So we write down this leading coefficient, multiply those 2, put over here, add, and 1 plus 1, I get 2 here. 1 times 2 is 2 here. Add those 2, 1 plus 2, 3. 1 times 3, 3. Oh, add those 2, 0. Okay, that means a minus 1, we have a square, because twice. Because 1 again is a factor of this one. That means, so this is the a cube term, so this term is a squared. This is a, this is constant. That means this is a minus 1 again, so that's a minus 1 squared. Then I have a squared plus 2a plus 3. Can we factor this? This is a trinomial. This one is not factorable, right? Because the factors of positive 3 is positive 1 times positive 3 or negative 1 times negative 3. Those two adds up to be 4. These two adds up to be negative 4, but we have a positive 2 as middle term. So we are done, right? So this one is factored to be a minus 1 squared times this. So this is factored completely. Right. So those about the possible roots. So this one is factored. We don't really need this one here. No coefficient means by default the coefficient is 1. So this is factored as a minus 1 squared times this term.